What is up, all of my horror fanatics out there? Welcome back to Late Night Frats. I'm the Late Night Frats horror leader, the J. Sloan or Jordan, back here to do another video for you. And as always, guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. Now, last week we did a theme, and we actually did our backwoods horror theme. And if you haven't checked that out, please go do so. It was a great week overall. Everyone did really good videos, and we got to see the introduction of our newest pre-member, Pierce. So yeah, really good week. Since last week was a theme week, this week we are doing horror battles, and the two films that I chose to battle are two really fun and entertaining horror films. One is very well known, iconic horror film. Everyone knows it, everyone loves it. And let's just say both of these films have reanimation in them, and there's some assembly required in both of these films. So yeah, the two films I chose to battle are Re-Animator versus FrankenHooker. Okay, so I'm going to start off by reviewing Re-Animator, which was made in 1985. This film is directed by Stuart Gordon, and it's based off of a story by H.P. Lovecraft. This one stars Jeffrey Combs, Bruce Abbott, Barbara Crampton, David Gale, and Robert Sampson. And I'll go a little bit into the plot. I won't spoil too much. I just want to give you guys a brief review over the story and then my final thoughts over the film. So Re-Animator, as I said, was made in 1985, and the basic plot around this one follows a character named Herbert West, who is played by Jeffrey Combs, and played brilliantly, I might add. Great character, greatest in the whole film, really funny, very creepy and crazy at times. But he's basically this grad student at this big hospital facility, and he meets a character pretty soon named Dan. And Dan, he shares with Dan his ability to reanimate the dead. Starts off with a cat and then moves on to bigger things like humans. And the story really, takes off from there, and it never really slows down. There is a villain in the story, really cool, the talking head who gets decapitated. Awesome film. I won't say anything else, just very weird, very wacky, very cheesy too, but the gore is awesome, the kills are awesome, and really loved everything about this one. The acting was great, direction by Stuart Gordon, and I've already bragged on Jeffrey Combs' acting, which I think everyone knows that he is the star of this film. He does a great job in it. So yeah, Re-Animator. I haven't read the H.P. Lovecraft story. I can only imagine that they tweaked it up a little bit, and it's not exactly like H.P. Lovecraft, because H.P. Lovecraft is very weird, very wacky material, but it's not really funny or cheesy. This definitely had a lot of comedic aspects to it, and that's why I said earlier it can be considered as a horror comedy film as well. Also, Bruce Abbott did a really good job playing Dan Kane. He was also in another film. He's been in many films, but one that I've seen recently, which I believe was Bad Dreams. I think he was in that film. Did a really good job in it. Barbara Crampton as the love interest of Bruce Abbott's character. Really good looking girl, and just everything about this movie I really enjoyed, from the acting to the directing to the feel of the movie, and just 80s cheese at its best is really all I can say. Definitely give Re-Animator a watch if you haven't seen it. I won't say anything else about it because I don't want to give any more spoilers away. So there you go, there's my review over Re-Animator, and now I'm going to review FrankenHooker. Okay, so now I'm going to review FrankenHooker, which was made in 1990. This film is directed by Frank Henenlotter, starring James Lorenz, Patty Mullen, and Joanne Ritchie. And wow, this is one roller coaster ride of a film. Very fun, very enjoyable, and very cheesy. That's pretty much all I can say about that. Very entertaining. So now I'm going to dive into the plot and tell you a little bit about the story. So the story follows a character named Jeffrey Franken, who is really weird, kind of oddball guy, sticks to himself mostly, has a pretty good looking girlfriend. They're actually, I guess they're engaged. That's his fiance. They're about to get married. And there is a very terrible and very brutal lawnmower accident, and it ends up killing his fiance. So of course, him being very weird, he starts losing sleep. He starts obsessing over this girl because he loved her. He thought she was the one. So he keeps some of her body parts in a chance that he might put her back together. And he has this sick idea that he wants to kill all of these hookers so he can put his fiancee back together and be reunited with her and continue on their life and love. And that is the basic story around this one. James Lorenz plays Jeffrey Franken and did very, very good job. It was funny at times, creepy at times. He took a drill and started drilling in the back of his head at points. But it was very comedic horror film. Horror comedy, like I said, both Re-Animator and FrankenHooker could be put in that category for sure. More FrankenHooker, I would say, than Re-Animator. Very fun, though. I really enjoyed the directing by Frank. I'm sorry. Ooh. Really enjoyed the directing by Frank Henenlotter and the acting by everyone involved. James Lorenz especially, who was also in Street Trash, which I remembered him right off the bat when I saw him in this film. Street Trash is very sleaze and cheese classic, and really enjoyed this one as well, though. FrankenHooker, fun. Very cool scenes in here. There was one scene, and I won't spoil it, but I think they could have done so much more with it. And if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. There is a big explosion, let's just say that. So if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you're in the dark, and I apologize for that. Definitely check out FrankenHooker if you want to know. It just seemed like a missed opportunity to me. They could have done so much more in that scene, gore-wise, I felt. But the effects weren't too bad, and some of the hookers weren't bad looking either, but some things that happened to them down the line. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about this film. Weird, wacky, fun, very cheesy. If you're wanting to go into a film expecting a serious horror movie, I wouldn't say watch this one. If you're in that type of mood, don't watch Re-Animator either. It's really not going to be that serious top horror film. It's just, if you're in a fun mood, you want to watch something cheesy, something fun with a few friends, definitely pop in FrankenHooker. And this is a really good addition too. This is the Arrow Video release, Blu-ray release. I've had this for a while, and I really like it. So, yeah, great film. Well, I can't go as far as say it's great. I about slipped up there. Good film, really fun and entertaining. That's as much as I can say about it. Watch it, give it a watch. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, I wouldn't imagine, but you're definitely going to get some enjoyment out of it. It'll put a smile to your face in certain scenes, and you'll get a laugh out of it. So yeah, and once again, directing by Frank Henenlotter, who also did Basket Case. James Lorenz, who was also in Street Trash. So good film all around, and I think a lot of people will find enjoyment out of it if you like cheesy horror films. So there's my review over FrankenHooker. Okay, so now that I've reviewed both films, it is time to battle them to the death, starting with round one, story and originality. Which film do I think had a better story and was overall more original? Now, without a doubt, guys, I'm going to have to go with Re-Animator. I think Re-Animator's story was just interesting. You know, seeing these two characters, specifically Jeffrey Combs' character playing Herbert West, seeing him bring the dead back to life, and seeing you know, the consequences for that, and every other story within the main one, with the villain doctor to Bruce Abbott's girlfriend and her dad and that whole situation. Everything was very fun, very interesting, and it took itself seriously without taking itself too seriously. It didn't go over the top, and you know, it still had that fair amount of comedy and horror, and it balanced it out perfectly. And that's what I loved about it. Very interesting story, kept me looking at the screen throughout the entire film, and I really enjoyed it. And FrankenHooker's story was cool too, really fun. Just taken, it already been done before, you know, FrankenHooker, Frankenstein, it's been done before. They just added a new twist to it with FrankenHooker, and very fun, though, and it's entertainment. That's what I can say about FrankenHooker. So, without a doubt, though, round one goes to Re-Animator. Round two, blood, guts, and gore, and practical effects. Which film do I think had better blood, guts, and gore, and better effects? Once again, guys, I'm going to go with Re-Animator. I think that this one did very, very well with its gore. I mean, very gory scenes. Some things in this were just really, really awesome to look at, and really wondering how they did it. And others were kind of dated. I mean, it was made in 1985, that's expected, but most of it looked really good and really held up. FrankenHooker, there's a scene, I've already mentioned this before, there's a scene I felt that they were really lacking on, and It was good, but it just wasn't as good as Re-Animator in my opinion, so round 2 goes to Re-Animator. Round 3, personal enjoyment and replayability. Which film do I personally enjoy more, and which film would I pop in right now and watch? And once again, guys, I really like FrankenHooker, but without a doubt, I'm going to go with Re-Animator. Just really liked it. Very entertaining, very fun, very cheesy, everything you would want in a good horror film, and that's all I can really say without repeating myself. So round 3 goes to Re-Animator. Acting and directing will be the final round, and I'm going to have to give that to Re-Animator as well. I don't see any reason to go any further. Re-Animator has won this battle. It has taken the cake. It's come out on top, and it is victorious. Don't get me wrong, guys. FrankenHooker is good, really good film, but it doesn't stand up, doesn't hold up to Re-Animator, and it has been defeated. So, yeah, there's my winner, guys, Re-Animator. Thank you so much for watching. You just watched Late Night Frights. You watched my horror battle over Re-Animator and FrankenHooker. Please comment down below and tell me which film you prefer. Do you like Re-Animator? Do you like FrankenHooker? I'm curious to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions on both films. Stay tuned, guys. Tomorrow, Chris Brock will be battling 2 films of his choice, and that will continue on throughout the week with all of our members. And, yeah, thank you so much for watching. You just watched Late Night Frights. Comment and subscribe. And as always, guys, keep it horror. Peace.